So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on, so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. You might have heard that live shopping is exploding, and I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront, and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So how are you? Come on in here, okay? Come on. It's okay. Man, have you seen what's going on out there in the world these days? Have you watched the news, or you're hiding from it? I get it, man. It's crazy. Somebody said to me yesterday, Scott, the world is crazy. I said, always has been. But it's okay. Come on, let's hide.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a daily boost.
What the heck is going on? It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com. My name is Scott Smith. Nice to have you here today. The most optimistic, pessimistic guy you'll ever meet. Wait, that's really a weird way to introduce myself, right? I'm really optimistic. I'm enthusiastic too. You can find it. You just can't push me down. Oh, you can. You can knock me down. You can make me upset. You can hurt my feelings because I'm a human, right? But I like, oh, whatever. And I stand up and do it again. I just keep going. I stand up, I take a step, I repeat. That's it. So you might be wondering, well, can I be like that? Sure you can. So I got it from my mom. My mom was the most optimistic, pessimistic person I've ever met in my life. And by the way, I tell her that. What do I mean by that? Well, I used to call her up and I'd say, hi, Mom, how you doing? And she'd say, what do you want? I said, I'm just calling to say, how you doing? She said, do you want money? No, I'm just calling to say hi. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, I'm doing good. It's been a good week. So do you need some money? I can give you some. Boom. Optimistic right there. That's me. I just kind of see the world exactly what it is, but I don't allow the world to punch me in the face. Well, sometimes it does. It just, bam, that hurt. Then I turn face first into it and I go, well, let's go deal with this. And that is what life is all about. That's what this show is all about. So I'm happy to have you here today. We are making a couple of format changes. This show is now evolving into a bit of a longer format, and there's some very cool things that are coming your way. And the reason I'm doing that is, one, I feel constrained in the other format. And secondly, I really felt like moving from the motivational format where we're just kind of giving you the motivational tip thingy. There's enough of that out there. You can get that on ChatGPT all you want to. But I want to bring more wisdom and insight as it relates directly to the world we're living in today. So kind of looking at life, but putting this positive philosophical spin on it. It's really useful and interesting, and it's going to be a hot mess for a couple of weeks as I figure it out. So just so you know, you have been told. Oh. By the way, if you missed the conversation about that, go to dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. Right at the top there, pinned at the top, is a conversation, well over 100 comments at this point, about me just basically saying, let's change things up, guys. A lot of great insight. I talked and messaged every single one of them. People hit me up on Instagram at Hey Scott Smith. And I got right back to them too. It's been so fun to hear from you. So keep that going right now. I want to keep the conversation going as we evolve. I want to draw you into this world here that I think is going to be pretty cool as we move forward. Now, I have to share something with you too today. I have multiple things coming your way here in the next, however. One of the things that is coming your way is the fact that, man, did I have a heck of a coaching call today. I have an inner circle coaching call. And usually these calls are really good, but today, I got a text from my buddy Croy, and Croy was on the call, and he said, "You are brave, man. We had a conversation that was really deep and really uncomfortable, the kind that you just don't want to have, but the one you do want to have." Have you ever been that way before? You're trying to get something in your life, you're trying to make a change in your life, and you know full well what you got to do. You know full well what you have to change. You know full well what mountain you need to climb. You know what it is. You can't get yourself to do it. What is it? Is it pride? Is it ego? Is it just not wanting to? I don't know. By the way, the people I had the conversation with today, I ain't talking about you. You know I am, but not really. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying everybody does it. And so as a guy that does what I do, and my job is not to hurt you, not to upset you. My job is to help you figure yourself out. Actually, my job is this. We are going for what's called an identity shift. That's it. So write that down if you've never heard that before. Okay, 2 coachy coach terms. Are you ready for it? First one, alignment. If you're not in alignment, meaning doing the things you like to do the way you like to do them, making your heart sing, you're not going to be happy. That is not going to be a hit record for you. So you want to align yourself. So chances are right now, if your life is not going the way you wanted to go and you're searching for it and you're trying to figure out how to fix it and patch all these pieces together and blah, 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 you're not in alignment. I know it sounds silly, right? When you get yourself lined up and you're doing you most of the time, you're pretty happy. So the next thing you need to write down, if you haven't written this down before, do it. It's called an identity shift. The big shift. So we can talk about stuff all day long. You can talk about what you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter to me. But if you don't actually, down inside your soul, shift to become that person, it's not going to work. You got to shift. So this call this morning, it was all about identity shifting. That's what it was. And it was one of those times where I was just kind of, I felt like I was like climbing a mountain, and I was about ready to get pushed off the ledge. And I said, no, I'm going to stand here. And if he's going to push me up, them, somebody. And it's okay. If you listen to the show, I feel so guilty about this, but I want to share this with you because it was a wonderful moment in time, a wonderful coaching moment in time. And I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to step up, and I encourage you to challenge the beliefs of people around you. And when they push back at you, I encourage you to stay in the game. Just take it. Just take it. And watch what happens. Watch how you grow. Man, do you ever notice how hard things make you grow? Have you ever noticed that? They always do. I don't like hard things. Every great lesson I've ever learned in my life has been because of a hard thing just before it. Mountain climbing, one of them. I was in, I like to go to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. That's where I like to go. My wife and I go there. It's kind of like the East Coast Rockies. Not to insult anybody who lives in the Rockies. I know it's like the foothills. I get it. But it's ours. It's ours. And it's rainy and it's icky and it's pretty and it's beautiful. And you can't see half the time because there's fog all over the place. But I love to go there. If something might get high above the frequency, above the interference. You ever notice that when you climb up a mountaintop? If you get on top of that mountain, it's different, isn't it? It's different because all the buzz, all the stuff is down below. That's why we like to escape. But particularly you empath people, you guys are the ones that need to go to the mountaintop for sure. But life is like climbing a mountain. Every single step of the way. It seems to get more difficult every step you take. Why is that? I think it's probably a manual somewhere that they didn't give us that said life is going to be really hard. Have fun. Boom. Get out there and do it. I'm pretty sure somebody wrote that someplace. Can't prove it. Pretty sure. More likely, probably it wasn't set up like that, but some man came into the world and said, I'm going to write a rule and make life hard for people. I don't like to do that. I only make life hard for people who try to make life hard for me. And the way I do that is just kind of ignore them. Like, what are you doing? Ignore me? I go, huh? I remember a mountain my wife and I were trying to climb. We were in a parking lot, at the base of the mountain in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. I think it's only about, 6,644 feet. Have you been there to the Klingman's Dome Observation Tower? Yeah, fly through Gatlinburg, fly through Cherokee, whatever you take the 45-minute drive, you're up there. And there's a sign in that parking lot as you arrive, having driven up the mountain mostly. There's a sign at the beginning of the trail that warns hikers that the hike is considered strenuous. The average person will take 30 minutes to complete that hike, and there are places along the way to take a break. Reading that sign, two conversations caught my attention. First off, there was a couple that had driven a few hours to get there. They said, oh, it might be foggy at the top. Let's not do it. Because it might be foggy at the top. Let's not do it. Let's take a picture of the sign and say we did. We came up here, but why didn't you climb? Well, it was kind of foggy, you know. I know you can see 7 states all over the place from up there, but, you know, it's going to be foggy. So why would you even push to where you want to go if you can't see where you want to go? Why would you not have enough faith to just make the climb? They got in the car and they left. Man. And with that, we said, okay, let's climb. I think we should do it nonstop. That was our time here. And then my wife turned to me, she said, hey, you know what? I think actually what we should do is we should actually climb it in half the time. Say, what? Really? Seriously? My wife likes to do that. It's like when you go to the beach and you take a run at the beach. My wife likes to run into the wind both ways. That's what she does. That's the kind of girl she is. If she could hike a mountain, she would hike up and down, but always going up. That's what she would do. Now, I'm not that kind of guy because I don't like hard. The only reason I walk behind my wife on the beach or going to the mountain is because she got a nice butt. I'll just be honest. That's it. That's it. And if I'm going to be in front of her, I'm going to turn and walk backwards so I can see her coming up behind me because she has not, never mind. So anyway, with that, so we headed up the hill and frankly, our thighs were burning. And honestly, we passed hundreds of hikers. I mean, they were all over the place. And the trail side has benches along the way, but it's like every 50 feet, there's a bench going up that trail up there. It's an asphalt paved trail going up the mountainside. How hard can it be? A lot had turned back. They hiked through the fog. Some of them didn't get to the fog. Some of them looked up there and they said, well, this is where we're going, but since we can't see where we're going, I'm just going to stop here because I don't have the faith to hike up and go through the fog. So as we closed in, we set the goal to do it in 15 minutes, and we kind of broke through the final layer of fog at the top, and it was kind of interesting because we literally came out to this beautiful day on top. 100-mile view, they say. All directions. I think it's 7 states. It's so cool. And we lingered up there for a while, and we just talked to people and just looked, and the people hiking the Appalachian Trail, actual real hikers, they were stopping by to see this, and we were talking to them, wow, what's it like to hike like 2,600 miles? It was so amazing. Would not have experienced that from the parking lot. It wouldn't have happened because the hikers wouldn't have come down to the parking lot. Why would they? They're on top. That is kind of the thing about setting rather large goals, isn't it? And going for them. Even if you can't see the outcome, you kind of know what it feels like, right? Because I actually personally believe, and I know what they say. Listen, come with me here, okay? People say you can't accomplish your goal if you don't know exactly what the outcome is. Well, to me, that's like, okay, that's get to the top of the mountain. That means fog or it doesn't matter. I'm going to go to the top. How do I know when I'm at the top? I can't climb up anymore. That's it. I may not be able to see the exact place I'm going to go, but I know where it is. Maybe I've never seen it before and I can't describe what it is, but I'm at least going to keep going until I get there. That was my goal. That's the reason. If you're doing any goal in your life, you want to set a big goal, there's a very big opportunity, big chance right now that you can't even imagine what it's going to be like. And you know why? You've never been there. The person that you need to be there is not here today. So yes, we want the outcome. We're outcome based. We want the transformation. We want to go to the top and do that, but sometimes you just can't see. You got to trust, man. You can have fear, you can have faith. Which one do you want? If you operate in fear, life is bad. If you operate in pure faith, just lean into it. Start at your starting point and head up on your mission, on your goals, whatever you want to do. Get your vision in mind and go after it. Your legs are going to hurt for sure. You're going to get there. Your bank account might hurt for sure, but you're going to get there. You're going to find a journey It's going to be like, ick, I don't like this, and yet it's going to be amazing. Some of the best journeys I've ever had really sucked when I was doing them. How about you? Yay, say hallelujah. It is always worth the effort. You know why? It's less crowded there. It's less crowded at the top. Because most people don't go for it. So if you got something you want to do this year, have a little faith. Have a little trust. Look in that direction. Say, you know what? Don't know exactly what it is, but I can kind of feel it. I know it when I see it. I'm going to go for it. This is one of the things about what I've done for so many years here. So many years.
I'm not giving up.
I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either going to be okay.
No, stop.
Or not.
We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
I have seen people come to the table at every possible stage of life. We're talking tens of thousands of people now. I can see you. I can see in your face. I can hear on the tone of your voice on a telephone call. I can hear where you are. I can tell if you're telling the truth, tell if you're lost, tell if you're lying, tell if you're committed, tell if you're not. Doesn't matter. I'll figure it out eventually. I usually know full well my instincts were right when I first got with you. You're questioning something. And we all do it. We all do it. Heck, you've seen me a couple of days just questioning, shooting into this format. I could be a hot mess right now. I have no idea who's going to love me or hate me. I don't really care. What I do know is I'm full stack right now. Not really. I'm half stack. I'll be full stack in a couple of weeks once I get up to speed and get everything dialed in. You think there's some fear in shifting something you've done for 19 years? Taking a gamble, taking a leap, going out there and trying something different just because I could? I got a friend of mine. I mentioned Croy a little bit earlier. He's going to run across Death Valley this summer. He's freaked out by it. But he's watching me just push up that hill even though I can't see the other side. And he's come along. Not on my ride. He's coming along. We're doing our own ride together. What are you doing this year? I hope I can help you maybe. Who's this fast-talking, not so clearly spoken, loudmouth who thinks out loud? Let's send this podcast for so long. 150 million downloads, by the way. It's not small. Who's this guy that's willing to always reach out and take a chance? Are you willing to do that? Because I can tell you right now, when I say do what makes your heart sing, let me tell you what that means. What that means is I'm like sing, dancing around in, tutus. I actually had a guy say that to me. I feel like I'm dancing in a tutu. You're a real man. You'll dance in a tutu and you won't care. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. But that's part of this podcast right now. That's bar talk, man. That's bar talk. That's real talk. Come here real close. Let me tell you something. There's enough life coaches out there that are going to hate me for this already. I don't care. Some of the best motivational speeches I've ever heard are sitting in a bar with chicken wings, a pitcher of beer, and we're both about ready to fall face first into a basket of French fries. I'm telling you. It's true, isn't it? Some of the most motivating people in the world I've known, I have met in the most unmotivating places or just the most decadent places. I've had incredible conversations that motivated the heck out of me just after my team lost in a bar. It's crazy. So the truth is the truth. It's real. It's real. And the more we get into this world right now, the more with AI, the more with everything that's going on, the more the algorithm, the more the stuff you just can't believe on Facebook. I'm going to be here, all the blemishes for you, 100% for you. Try to talk you into doing something a little bit different. So I woke up yesterday morning. And was it yesterday, I think? And we had a death in America. He turned out to be, for some people, a little bit controversial. Scott Adams, the author of Dilbert. Let me pause why certain people freak out. Listen, man, we don't play that game around here. We get grace to everybody. We're humans. We don't play left or right. We don't do that. We play left, right, and the middle. That's what we do around here. Make our lives better. Maybe make somebody else's life better. That's what we do. So if it triggered you a little bit, I'm sorry to waste your 16 and a half minutes. That's fine. But I hope you stick around, because sometimes when you stick around in something that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, like happened to me this morning on a call, sometimes things change. How many times have you been so uncomfortable and yet you knew that it was the thing that had to be said? That you knew that you had met your match? that you knew that little thing inside your heart that you wanted to do, and you were so afraid to go for it, and somebody called your ass on it. And you get so mad you wanted to punch him. But you kind of walked away, so let me think on this a little bit. Scott Adams passed away, yes. And just before I went to record this show today, they released, I guess, his final message. And on the off chance that you don't get to hear it, and certainly most importantly, because it gives me a chance to narrate using my former radio voice over a really pretty song, I thought, okay, might want to reel that one back. If you're reading this, things did not go well for me. I have a few things I need to say before I go. My body failed before my brain. I am of sound mind as I write this, January 1st, 2026. If you wonder about my choices for my estate or anything else, please know that I'm free of any coercion and inappropriate influence of any sort, I promise. Next, for my Christian friends who have asked me to find Jesus before I go. I am not a believer. But I do have to admit, the risk-reward calculation for doing so looks attractive, so here I go. Something, by the way, that happens to a lot of folks like that. Okay, just in case. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I look forward to spending an eternity with Him. The part about me that is a believer should be quickly resolved when I wake up in heaven. Okay, that's good. I don't need any more convincing than that. I do hope I'm still qualified for entry. You are. With your permission, I'd like to explain something about my life. The first part of my life, I was focused on making myself a worthy husband and a parent and finding meaning. That worked, but marriages don't always last forever, and mine eventually ended in a highly amicable way. I'm grateful for those years and for those people that came to call my family. Once the marriage unwound, I needed new focus. I needed meaning. I donated myself to the world, I guess, literally speaking the words out loud in my otherwise silent home. From that point on, I looked for ways that I could add the most to people's lives, one way or the other. That marked the start of an evolution from my Dilbert cartoonist to author, what I hoped it would be, useful books. By then, I believed I had amassed enough life lessons that I could start passing them on. I continued making Dilbert, of course. As luck would have it, I'm a good writer. My first book in useful genre was How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. That book turned out to be a huge success, often imitated and influencing a wide variety of people. I still hear every day how much that book changed lives, and my plan to be useful is working. I followed up with my book, Win Bigly, that trained an army of citizens on how to be persuasive, which they correctly saw as a minor superpower. I know that book changed lives because I hear it often. You probably never know the impact the book had on the world, but I know, and it pleases me while giving me a sense of meaning, that it is possible and impossible to describe. My next book, Loser Think, tried to teach people how to think better, especially if they were displaying their thinking on social media. That one didn't much make a dent in the universe, but I tried. Finally, my book, Reframe Your Brain, taught readers how to program their own thoughts to make their personal and professional lives better. I was surprised and delighted at how much positive impact it was having. I also started a podcast, by the way. It was called Coffee with Scott Adams, dedicated to helping people think about the world and their lives in a more productive way. I didn't plan it that way, but it ended up helping a lot of lonely people find community, and that made me feel less lonely. Again, that had great meaning for me. I had an amazing life. I gave everything I had. If you got any benefit from my work, I'm asking you to pay it forward as best you can. That is the legacy I want. Be useful. Please know I loved you to the end. Scott Adams. It's interesting when you take a moment to do that, and some people will not take the moment to do that. But when you do, when you take the moment to absorb the moment, imagine yourself in that situation, by the way. Imagine yourself given a terminal diagnosis and to see everything kind of going away. My first wife passed away many, many years ago. She asked me, she said, well, what do you think's going to happen? I've actually talked about this before. And I said, I don't know. I've never been there. I've never died, I don't think. Not really sure about that, but maybe. Never. I don't know. And so imagine if you've never done that, imagine what somebody feels in that position. And I have tried to imagine that many, many times over the years, only because I was put in that position with my wife. I was there when she passed away. To this day, I can't figure it out. But imagine taking the time to write something to the world. It's a gift. If you're in the position ever to be dying, and someday we will be, so I'm talking to everybody. Do that gift. Because someday you are going to die. You are. And you know what? It's kind of weird. You know, it used to be you died sooner. You really, really, truly did. Did you know that? Have you ever thought about that? You did. I mean, when it comes to living a long life, I mean, people either think life is too short or too long. Long enough might be the best answer, probably, right? Long enough. However, 200 years ago, most people didn't have the luxury about thinking about things like that at all. I mean, 200 years ago, they didn't live a long life. And most importantly, they did not sit down and post a letter to the internet. It didn't happen. They might not have pencil and paper. Imagine that. We lived at a really slower pace back in the old days, which meant our perception of time moved a whole bunch slower. Do you know the ripe old age of 40 used to be really old? It's like living 100 today. Although the past 10 years or so, it's like every year feels like 100. Of course, other things took you out sooner. They really did. It was kind of crazy. And back when California was like low priced, when Florida was low priced, when New York was low priced, real estate and all that stuff, man, just a fault line in gold, I guess, in California, pretty much it. Everybody died a whole lot younger than we do today, especially from exotic diseases. You know, it's kind of interesting. We get kind of upset about things today that can take us out and stop our goals and stop it. If you even think about that, because actually I think most people don't think about that. I think most people have no clue that one day it's going to come to the end. Oh, we philosophically think it's going to. We'll live for tomorrow. We're not going to do it today. Well, it used to be, first off, a long time ago, do you recognize you actually had to survive childhood? And certainly today that's the case. But back then, a long time ago, that was a real big deal. You might not do it. You might live to 7. Yay, made it to 7. You might have had one goal. That was buy a horse. I'm going to get that horse. When you grow up, you're going to get a horse, your own horse. I'm not going to get married too. It'd probably be 14 when you got married, but you're going to get married. That was a big goal. You're going to buy a house, maybe another horse too. You might move into your grandfather's property when you're 40 years old because your grandfather died when he was 40, so you got his house, right? You don't have to wait till they're 80 or 90 now, right? Things have changed. Save enough money to build a home. Get your kids through 5th grade. That'd be a big plan a long time ago. See how things have changed? We freak out about all the news and stuff that's going on. Listen, it's bad. There's bad stuff happening out there. I don't even understand this stuff. It's so far below my pay grade. I don't understand it. Yeah, I said it that way. So far below my pay grade. I'm smarter than that stuff. I don't need to. Back in the day, you'd want to plant a tree well before you inherited that property so you have some shade over your house when you moved into the property at 40 years. The same thing these days. If you want to move forward with anything, if you want to climb that mountain, if you want to write your legacy letter, whatever you want to do, today's the day to do it. We were talking about Inner Circle this morning. By the way, Inner Circle opens again very soon. And we were talking about what to call it. And ultimately, you know that I'm always talking about passion, purpose, meaning, and legacy. And I think we're just going to take the easy way out and just call it the Legacy Inner Circle. Because every single person who's in it, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to write our legacy today. And you should do that today. You should get out today and write your legacy today. You should. People say to me all the time, if you're in the legacy stage of life, which is like 50 plus for the most part, I'm just worried about my legacy. I said, well, you better clean up your act today then, because whatever you do today is your legacy, buddy. It's true. It doesn't matter unless it matters to you. But make no mistake, you're wishing, hoping, you're dreaming. Every single activity you take today, whatever you do or do not do, you are writing your legacy. There's somebody in your house right now, in your neighborhood right now, at the office right now. They got you figured out already. Yeah, I know. They got you figured out already. So the question would be, how do you figure yourself out? Well, that's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is say, well, this is how I feel, what I want to do. This is what makes my heart sing. And say, I don't know how to get it done. I don't even know if I can describe it exactly. But I kind of know it's that way. I'm kind of lean into it. I'm going to have some faith. And every single day, I'm going to take a step in that direction. And if you do that, if you stand up and you take a step and repeat, what ends up happening is, say the worst happens and you die at 115 years old. Instead of saying, well, man, lived a good long life to 115, they'll say, like, you know what? Every single day, for his entire life, he stood up, he took a step, he repeated. It didn't matter what got in his way. It didn't matter at all what happened. They just got out of bed and did it again. Am I talking about myself? I didn't mean to do that, but maybe. Hey, see you on Facebook. DailyBoostPodcast.com/Facebook. Come over, join the conversation. Hit me up on Instagram at Hey Scott Smith.